Yep. Welcome to Building Strong Foundations for Ohio's Youngest Learners. Today's presenters will be Marie Economos, FCS educator in Trumbull County, Brenda Sandman Stover, 4-H and FCS program assistant in Greene County, and Heather Reister, FCS educator in Butler County.
Today, we'd like to speak with you in regards to building strong foundations for Ohio's youngest learners. In our presentation, we'd like to cover developmentally appropriate practice, the 10 teaching strategies, 12 guiding principles, review the 3 core considerations, and the 5 guidelines of effective teaching. What is DAP mean? How does developmentally appropriate practice, DAP, impact you? Teaching practices that ensure young children that they learn and develop to their fullest potential. As we work with these young children, we want to create that learning environment that's well-grounded in research on child development and educational effectiveness, and carefully reviewed by experts that incorporate developmentally appropriate practices that serves as that foundational guide for all the work that we do with children. This helps create that learning environment that reduces the gaps and increases the achievements for all children. We're creating and improving better connections with education from preschoolers to these elementary age children. We're recognizing and incorporating these effective teaching strategies that we can incorporate developmentally appropriate practice within our clubs. As we look at DAP and think about these strategies that we're trying to incorporate, there are 10 teaching strategies that we'd like to review. We would like to talk about acknowledge, how we let children know that you see them and hear them. Encourage, persistent and effort rather than just praising within the work that they're doing. Giving specific feedback rather than just general comments. Help learn about modeling in the strategies that we do that can contribute those approaches to learning that we would like for the children to have within the environment. Demonstrating the correct way to do something, just not tell them. We would create and add challenges to the work that they're doing. Asking questions that provoke children to think as they're doing one of their projects and incorporate that within the developmental standards. Giving assistance with cues and kind of hints, and providing that information that directly gives children facts and other information. We will give direction to guide them with their actions and their behaviors. There are 3 core considerations. So what do we know about that? Well, through the research, we know that the core considerations are about child development and learning. And with child development and learning is understanding about that DAP, the developmental approaches to learning that we each and every day try to incorporate into those learning environments and creating that environment of related to that child's age. Each child is an individual. And as a 4-H leader, we want to know about each and every child that is within the clubs that we are working and how we can meet those needs of each and every one of those children and give them that learning opportunity and that environment to grow. Along with that, we want to think about that child's social and cultural world. As adult leaders, what do we know about that child's family? How can that child's family, their values, what they're expecting, how can we create with that child, that family engagement. No learning is done without involvement of that family.
There are 12 principles of child development and learning. Developmentally appropriate practice is based on what we know about children. It is not a guess or what we think we know. It is based on research and literature. These theories have generated a set of well-supported generalizations or principles about how children develop and learn. One example is number 3. Development and learning proceed at varying rates from child to child, as well as at uneven rates across different areas of child's individual functioning. It's important to remember when planning programming to be inclusive of all children's abilities and recognize achievements in all areas. For example, some children excel at gross motor activities, while others may master fine motor skills first. Both should be celebrated and planned for. Guidelines for effective teaching include creating a caring community of learners, teaching to enhance development and learning, planning curriculum to achieve important goals, assessing children's development and learning, and establishing reciprocal relationships with families. We know from the previous slide the guidelines that should inform our programming and projects, but as we all know, sometimes trying to put our knowledge into practice can be met with barriers, including policies, funding, and even families. These 5 guidelines for developmentally appropriate practice address decisions that adult leaders may make in the 5 key and interrelated areas of practice. Just as these guidelines are used in early childhood education, they can be useful for a 4-H adult leader as well.
How is your club aligned with best practice? When working with Cloverbud programs and 4-H members with their projects, consider each child has a different way of learning and how those needs are being met by the club. Example, when Cloverbuds journal in their My 4-H Cloverbud year, some members will not have the ability to journal, so providing extra materials and assistance to help them express their thoughts and emotions will help them achieve success. We also want to allow them to explore their social, cultural world around them. So recognizing when there might be a language barrier when communicating with the members of their family. Ways to ensure that we are addressing all the strategies mentioned is to engage the whole family. How does this impact 4-H in Ohio? Just like the members in your club, the children on this slide all have needs that need to be met for them to succeed in 4-H. All these children might be of the same age, but have different developmental styles when learning something new. As 4-H educators, program assistants, and advisors, we can implement the strategies in building strong foundation for Ohio's youngest learners. This is the first step in creating leaders in our club, our community, our country, and our world.
Thank you for attending Building Strong Foundations for Ohio's Youngest Learners. We hope you incorporate some of the strategies you learned today into your practice. If you have questions about developmentally appropriate practice or early childhood education, please feel free to contact Marie Economos, Heather Raster, or Brenda Sandman Stover for more information.